Logan Allen, my friend, good to see you, man.
Yeah, bro, good to be back. I feel like I'm a co-host at this point.
Dude, this is
It's
your, yeah, we were talking before we started. We have done an interview since season one and now season five. It's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
dude, it's insane, bro. Yeah, I've done five of these now, man. But yeah, you come up with new questions every time, man. You make it interesting, so that's props to you, brother.
Absolutely. All right. So season one and two is very kind of interesting because it's like you never played that character, you come back, you're learning more. Then season three, season four is like you're really starting to kind of know this character. It's fleshed out. Season five is like it's part of your life, right? Did it feel like that a little bit?
100%, dude. And I'm so interested to see if that actually shows on camera. Like, I feel like I was very, very loose this season, and not in a bad way. I felt like I know this character so much to where and 5 seasons in, you would think, okay, these characters have stuff figured out. No, man, they make mistakes. It's funny. I have a ongoing joke with the showrunner. I'm like, Kyle's never happy. When is he gonna be happy, dude? I'm like, this poor guy is just getting beat up every season. And I think, you see a lot of that come to a head, man. We'll get into it obviously, but yeah, it's been amazing playing this character, and I think you're gonna see, yeah, I think you might see that looseness come out a little bit, but yeah, man, it's been a blast.
Can you take me through that script to screen journey when you officially get these scripts? I mean, every kind of season of Sweet Magnolias either kind of ends on a cliffhanger or everyone always has like 35,000 questions up until a new season comes out. When you finally start getting those scripts, what's that like for you kind of getting everything, soaking it all in, but then actually like getting there and starting to film and production, that script to screen journey with season five?
Yeah, yeah, it's wild, Peter. They don't show you the scripts until like you're about to film those episodes. So, like
Mhm.
for example, when we start episode 1 and 2, I have no idea what's gonna happen in 8. I,
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know how the season's gonna go. So I'm almost like, which makes sense. Like, why should I know, right? I'm my character. I'm going through things now. Um, there are certain moments, and there has been certain characters, and specifically something this season that doesn't have to do with my character, but you'll see that there's certain things that these characters might have secret wise, or they might be hiding something that eventually is kind of comes out later. That stuff obviously, if you need it, if it's a necessity, if it's part of your character's arc and something that they're hiding, the showrunners are very open with you, and you can go to them and they'll tell you all the information, whatever you need to know, so you can play that thing if that makes sense. But yeah, dude, we don't know what's gonna happen, and even when we know what's going to happen at the end of the season, we're like, okay, number one, I think the fans are going to love this. Let's hope so. And then number two, it's like when the show comes out, you don't know how it's going to be edited, bro. Like
No.
it's so weird. I mean, as a filmmaker, you get it. Like you genuinely don't you that I'm writing my own stuff too. And number one, when you're writing, you don't know what the hell is gonna the end of the movie is gonna be like. So many changes happen from that first draft to that last draft, and the editing is everything. The editing is what creates a project, I think. And so it's always so cool to see that transition too.
It's that feeling of like letting go, right? Like you make this thing, you wrap, and then it really is out of your hands, right?
Yep.
Like that's kind of how it is. Do you feel like like what's it like kind of wrapping each season of Sweet Magnolias? Maybe like go from like season three to season five. Like does it always feel similar? Does it always feel did it feel different this season? Like I'm curious about that.
Yeah, I think every season feels so much different. And you're right. I think letting go of that character is what really sucks, right? Because it's like,
Mhm.
man, I put 4 months of this, year of my life into this character again, and it was so centered around Kyle and experimenting and but one thing I've learned, Peter, is I think the first few times that happened, I was sad. Now I'm excited because I know, hey, if we do come back for a season 6, if people love season 5, that's another question we get. They're like, hey, is there going to be another season after this? It really comes down to this, the
Mhm.
reception of the fans, and if it gets enough support, we will be back. But I feel like now, the past couple of years, I'm almost excited when it is because I'm like, okay, now I can go and get better as an actor, have more experiences just as Logan, as a person, and I'm able to bring more stuff to the character now in this next season with these new challenges that the character is going to go through. You talk to a lot of different actors. The biggest thing I think to become a better actor is not like these different techniques. It's really life because you can
Mhm.
bring more to these characters. And so I feel like that's something that I've been able to do. And we talked about that looseness that I feel, kind of come back this season. I think that you might be able to see that on screen. I think you'll also be able to see just me. I feel like being a better actor. I think you can see my craft becoming better. And I'm really excited for people to see that.
Absolutely. You said in the beginning of the interview it's our fifth time, and I did look back at other. I did kind of little quick looks, especially like the last couple of times, right? Like season 3 and season 4. And I did want to come up with questions that I didn't ask you before. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah,
I
yeah.
actually look, there's some kind of spillover in like in like
Yeah,
interview 2 and 3, like similar things. You had different
yeah.
answers, but there was
Right, right. Hey, dude, 5 interviews is insane, brother. You're good, dude. You're good.
So I think you're gonna like this one. So these are really filmmaker questions, right? So all right, so we're gonna see a scene with Kyle and Sweet Magnolias. The runtime is gonna be 2 minutes, and we're gonna go to the next scene, right? But I know that there's a chance that that scene might have taken you the whole afternoon to film, or a whole day, or a cup, or maybe it took like a week to film certain scenes. You know what I mean? Like these big kind of 10-minute scenes. When those big scenes happen, do they feel like their own mini movie, mini project, or do they overall feel part of Sweet Magnolias?
Bro, these night shoots that we have an insane night shoot that we did. We had a couple, but we had one. It was this big event in the show in the season. You guys are gonna love it. It's one of those events that gets all the characters together. So you have all these characters mingling that never mingled before because we have so many of them. And dude, oh my God, there was one shoot that lasted. I got home and the sun was up, and I was like, oh dang, okay, that's a problem.
It's like its own
And
movie. It's like its own indie film.
literally, and I was back the next day to work too. And so yeah, man. And what's wild is we were working inside, and so you don't know what time it is, and you go in when it's light, and you come out when it's starting to get light again. You're like, what just happened? Your whole sense of time is thrown off. And yeah, it genuinely feels like its own movie, man. And you're there in a building or in an area for like you said, 12 hours, whatever it is. And yeah, especially when you're not outside, but no, it genuinely does, man. And because we also film in sequences, as you know,
Yeah.
right? So like that event sequence, even if it might take place over the span of like 4 different episodes, we usually film 2 episodes at a time. So if it takes us place over a span of 2 episodes, we film all of the stuff on that set in 1 or 2 days.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it genuinely feels like its own movie because you're like, oh, this is kind of like a straightforward plot. This is like can be its separate little series. So, yeah, it is very weird, man.
Absolutely. And 5 seasons of Sweet Magnolias, and there's been a lot of kind of Kyle moments and different things that kind of happen, different arcs, different storylines, different relationships with certain characters, his family, his friends. And you do a lot of kind of social media, Instagram lives and everything, and there's a lot of interaction with the fans. And certain fans over the 4 seasons, because season 5 is not out yet, right? Will have their favorite moments, right? Like they're gonna have their favorite Kyle moments, their favorite moments of all the ever with Annie and everything. I'm wondering if for you, you're gonna specifically have your favorite scenes to film, right? And you're gonna have your Logan Allen top 5 Sue Magnolia's moments. When you hear from a fan about, wow, I really enjoyed those scenes with Kyle that maybe you didn't think of being kind of memorable. Do they kind of help determine your ranking of your favorite Kyle moments? If the fans like it, do you know what I mean by that? Like it's interesting to think about.
It is very interesting, and there's a lot of different levels to it.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, what scene was most fun to film, and then was that the most fun scene that the fans see because they don't see what goes into the filming.
Yeah.
So or also too, a scene might look really generic to a fan in the sense of okay, I get why that was there, but to me it means something even more because of something that happened that day on set. So yeah, no, it's really interesting, and a lot of the times, yeah, different moments. It's true. You hear a lot of actors talk about whenever a project comes out, they're like, "Did you expect it to be this big or have this big of an impact?" And people are like, "No, I had no idea." That I get that sometimes with certain sequences. And yeah, I've had some fans, some supporters of the show come out and say, "Yo, this moment felt good, love that," or "This had an impact on me in that way." I've even had fans tell me that because what you feel is sometimes not what's projected, and that's in everyday life, right? We could be in
Mhm.
conversations and we could be feeling a certain way, but someone else can interpret it a different way, right? Our experiences make us interpret things differently, even if it's the same circumstance. And I've had people tell me that, wow, Kyle felt this here because of this, and I'm like, I wasn't even thinking that way. Like that is really interesting, and yeah, I get that point of view now, but when I was filming, that's not what I was thinking. But it made that impact in that way, and it's not that wasn't good or that I didn't do what I wanted to do. I did because it impacted them, but it just impacted them in a different way than I was actually feeling in that moment. That is really, I mean, that's what comedy is. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I mean, you talk about it. You're a comedy guy. It really the actual it it wouldn't be funny if the people knew they were in a comedy. They're in a comedy because the circumstances are so wild as the viewer.
Dude, literally, that's a perfect segue to my next question. It's almost like
Let's
you knew
go.
of what I
Let's
was going to
go.
ask you. I mean, we've done
I'm
four of these
co-hosting,
before.
baby. We're doing it, Peter. Let's go, bro.
Well, it's interesting because I look back at some of my favorite sitcoms growing up, and a lot of them tackled like really serious issues. When you're younger, you don't think about it much, right? But you look back at past clips and everything. Like my favorites, like Boy Meets World, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Full House, right? Like serious issues. Have you always seen s- comedy with a serious undertone as an actor? Like it's interesting to think about, right? Like there's always serious undertones with comedy.
Yeah, you never. I mean, yeah, that gets into some like very specific stuff and how you approach a script. But like, yeah, you get a script, you know it's a comedy, but when you're doing character work, yeah, you never look at it from that lens. You look at
Yeah.
what does your character want and what do they need here,
Yeah.
and what are they willing to do to get what they want, right?
Mhm.
So you're looking at stakes and all these things, and so yeah, no, you're never really looking at it as, oh, this is funny. Now, if it's a excuse me, if it's a slapstick, that's one thing, right? If
Yeah.
you're doing like a Jim Carrey comedy like a Dumb and Dumber or
Mhm.
whatever it is, an Adam Sandler Happy
Step
Gilmore,
Brothers.
Step
Yeah.
Brothers. But even those things, they're serious things, and you
Yeah.
could tell that you know what I mean. Like the characters themselves are still in this world, and they still have these stakes, and so yeah, you're right. They're
Yeah.
tackling these serious issues, but I think that's what leads to the comedy. It's not the issues themselves. Well, it is the issues themselves because that's what creates the stakes, but it's how they react to those stakes. Dumb and Dumber, they have no money. Harry's life is terrible. You know what I mean? They're wanting to open up a worm store, but then they got to go to Aspen. It's to them it's life or death, but to us it's like, what are you guys doing, dude? Like it's so stupid, but it's the stakes.
By the way, you were right when you said I'm a comedy guy. I'm also a horror movie guy, but it's so crazy because I've been thinking about my like top four, like my four on Letterbox, and I don't know what my fourth is. Like I know my three, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're all
Yeah.
comedies, and I was like even talking to my friends and my family, like you need to diversify. You know, like you're a big horror movie guy. You have to
Yeah.
have a horror movie.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like Superbad, School of Rock, and Napoleon Dynamite are like my three top
Oh,
favorite
hell
movies of
yeah.
all time. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But
No,
I
that's
don't
great.
know what I would put in the four. Like I have like a top 10, I guess, but like it's hard to like do that. Do you have you don't have to disclose it, but do you have a final like a top four movies?
Yeah,
You do
yeah.
have it.
I hold up. Hold up. Yeah, let me. Sorry, I know we're in the middle of an interview. Let me look up my letterbox right now.
Yeah,
I will read that
absolutely.
out to you guys right now. I know my number one. My number one movie that I will. It's a very generic answer. I'm sorry, but
Hmm.
it's going to be Interstellar.
Yeah, of
Interstellar
course.
will
That's a
always
yeah.
be, yeah, always be my favorite for so many different reasons. Number two is 1978's Halloween. I love that film, the original Halloween. I think that's a horror masterpiece.
Yep.
Number three is when it gets insane. I have Grown Ups up there at the number three seed,
That's
which
a classic. I
it's a
love Grown
classic.
Ups.
And they just announced Grown Ups 3 is in
Yeah.
development. They're coming back again. Very excited for that. Um, and then, bro, I'm looking at my letterbox right now. I don't know what my fourth would be either, bro. I got some, this is like my top nine. I got like Scream up there, Reign
Yeah.
Over Me with Adam Sandler, Don Cheadle, another comedy that deals with a very serious grief setting. I don't know if you've ever
Yeah.
seen that movie
That's a good one.
about loss. Like
That's
that's
a
a great
great
example
one.
of what we're
Adam
talking
Sandler
about.
has an incredible
Bro.
incredible like non-comedy filmography as
And
well.
and
Country
you
of
know
Love,
what?
like a
Yes.
lot of really good ones. Yeah.
Uncut Gems, like he
Oh.
genuinely is phenomenal. And that kind of goes to what we're talking about. And you said how you're a big comedy and horror fan. I'm the same way. And
Hmm.
I think what the reason is because number one, both of those deal with psychological things. As a filmmaker, you got to look at the psychology of things. You see a lot of comedians that are really good at making horror stuff. Jordan Peele, the guy that just made the Obsession movie as well, the new director. These guys come from these comedy skits because they're thinking, what is funny? What can we do to impact people, make people laugh? You think the same exact way when it comes to how do I scare people? How do I
Hmm.
make people uncomfortable? The brains are in that kind of hardwired way. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of these comedians go, number one, they go to the dark places, whatever it is, but they have to go and they have to impact these people in a funny way. So when it comes to dramatic things, this is just my take, my opinion. I think that they come from the same light in the sense of, okay, I have to give emotion here. The stakes are the same. It's just how the character responds. It's the same exact thing, just in a little bit different, font, I guess.
You know what movie I'm really gonna, you know what I am, and I'll let you know. I'm gonna figure out my fourth. I would say I think it's 2015. I think The Invitation. It's a horror movie.
I've
Two
never
thou-
seen The Invitation. I know
yes,
exactly
it
what you're
is.
talking about.
It is like that dinner party gone wrong type movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yep.
Logan Marshall Green is in it, and amazing film. But like that film got me into filmmaking. Like that was the movie I watched where I was like, I want to do this because some of the shots were so cool, the sound was so cool. I'm going to say something right now as well. You know, Heated Rivalry is a huge big deal in the world right now, right? That TV show, and
Mhm.
it's amazing. That show too, like one thing people aren't also talking about as much is the sound design, the cinematography, like the show, like not just the stories and like all that, the it's so good. Like the sound
Yep.
design, like I've been like, do you find now that you're making stuff, you're thinking about that stuff as well too? Like
Yep.
it's interesting,
100%.
right? You're not just thinking about like plot and acting. I'm thinking about all those other things as well.
Oh yeah, those are almost as important. They are more important, I think, than anything else.
Yeah.
I think lighting, sound, and visuals, like
Yeah.
that's what it's all about. And I think that's why I love horror. I feel like horror, I mean, those things are impactful in every single genre, every single film, every single TV show. But in horror in particular, when you're trying to build a suspense, trying to make an impact on people, sound design, visuals, cinematography, and lighting are key. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of these older horror movies, you know, that's what it is. That's what carries the movies. Halloween, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, whatever it is, it's those three elements. And yes, I am a sucker for visuals. I'm a sucker for sound.
Mhm.
And I've not seen Invitation. I've seen clips from Invitation, but I need to go watch that. And yes, when it comes to Heat of Rivalry, I've not seen the whole show, but I have seen clips, and the cinematography is
Yes.
unbelievable. Like
Unbelievable.
actually, and very innovative. That's one thing I
Yeah.
realized too. It's very unique style and it draws you in. So yes, I totally agree.
I have a feel. Have you seen my short horror film? Did I ever send that to you? Adjoining?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. Yeah.
My RDP Andy Chen, so good. Like the cinematography, like crushed it. We
Dude,
actually shot that movie at Cinepax in North Hollywood, and they actually filmed like some of the car scenes in Obsession at Cinepax as well.
that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, that no,
So
I remember, you know what's funny? I remember watching that, and yes, the visuals were gorgeous. And I remember, I think I texted you this, Peter. I was like, the sound. I told you, I was like, the sound is so well done. And it's not because like you can go, oh yeah, you can kind of go over you can overdo the sound a little bit too and make it to where it's a little bit too much and distracting.
mhm.
But I literally texted you, I believe, Peter, and I was like, the sound is actually gorgeous, dude. So it was
Yeah,
really
you
well.
did. I actually know. I think you voice messaged me your thoughts.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
I
you did.
did.
It's coming back to me.
Yep.
And I do remember. No, it's great, and it's you know like making a movie it's such a community and like team like thing. Like it's amazing. You know what I mean? Like shout out to the whole cast and crew of Adjoining. And then last question, I want to get back very quickly about Sweet Magnolias because you said, you know, like the night shoots felt like their own mini movie. I feel like sometimes when Kyle's in a play, that could feel like its own movie as well.
And we're back again with another play this
I know.
season. You saw it in the trailer.
I was about to say, that's why I kind of brought it up. So I guess I wanted to ask you, like, when you first were doing kind of like when we saw, because was that season one where we saw
Yes,
Kyle in the
he's
play? Yeah,
yep.
like in the beginning. I know, like, because you don't get the scripts in advance, right? But like, did you think that was gonna end up coming back? Like, or do you not think about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just wondering about that.
I honestly, that's a great question. I anticipated for it to come back. It never did. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we're not doing that again.
Four
But
seasons
it
later.
actually, yeah, I was like, all right, whatever. I was like, I guess it did terrible. But it actually, the play this year, I can't say what it is because it ties in everything, but it's a it ties in with the story and in a really really good way. This is Kyle's leading man season. That's something that the showrunner Cheryl was really really preaching, Peter. I think season 1 to season 4 you saw Kyle go through these trial and tribulations of like he's a guy who is, which is very similar to me, a guy who wants to spread love, spread positivity, lift people up, but forgets about himself. And the first 4 seasons, he's trying to figure out himself, trying to figure out who he is. And that's why the car crash stuff, everything that happened in season 2 with Nelly and all those things going into season 3. And then with season 4, I think you saw the first time he was like, okay, I kind of have this foundation. Let me try to start step up and impact people. We saw that with the library, speech and protests and everything. And now with season 5, you're really starting to see him get comfortable in that role and get comfortable. And now he has a lot of circumstances, Peter, that are thrown at him. And it's like a test of, okay, am I ready for this? And whether or not he is, you're going to see this season. But that does tie in heavily with the play, which is a plot that goes throughout the entire season. It was so much fun. That is one of those days where I went outside and was like, what time is it, brother? I was in there for so long. But it was a great time and just an absolute blast. And I cannot wait for people to see it. And it's also really weird, by the way, playing a character inside of a character. That's always fun.
That's its own journey. You could do a whole podcast series probably on how you prepare for that one.
100%.
June 11th, season 5 of Sweet Magnolias worldwide on Netflix. They can check that out. You are back as Kyle. Logan, your 5th time on the show. This is so cool. I feel like I have to get you a mug or something now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Thank you so much for your time. It was great chatting with you as always.
Always a blast, man. Always a blast. Have a great time, dude. And yeah, man, excited to be back for a 6th time, maybe sometime soon.
Absolutely. This has been Popturnative, youtube.com/Popturnative for previous episodes. Popturnative.com has other features as well. Till next time, this is Logan Allen and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popturnative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popturnative on YouTube.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.